over the last 48 hours, we've had the staggering news that Step 3 and below of non-league is all going to be finished this season, null and void. I personally really can't believe that this decision has been made so quickly. It is going to have such absolutely massive ramifications for so many clubs and cause a lot of problems for clubs really that are going to be able to really not do anything about it. We're going to look at all the ramifications and who's been worst affected in this video. But first of all, this video is sponsored by OneFootball, who will keep you up to date with all sorts of football news and fixtures, results and everything like that when the season is back underway. They also do an update on their app on the news section of different news about coronavirus and keeping you up to date with the latest across the world coronavirus related in football. So yeah, if you want to download it, the link to download it will be in the top line of the description. So the FA released a statement saying that Steps 3 to 6 have reached a consensus that their 19-20 season will now be brought to an end and all results will be expunged. This will mean no promotion or relegation of clubs between Steps 3 to 6 and no promotion to Step 2. These decisions will also apply to the leagues and clubs who play in Step 7. We will continue to assist and support the National League to determine the outcome of its 19-20 season as quickly as possible. The planned implementation of the restructure of the non-league pyramid will also now be deferred until the start of the 2021-22 season. So yeah, massive thing that, to be honest, I didn't see coming and didn't see coming this quickly. I did say at the end of the last video that I made that this situation was probably going to move quite quickly, and it has moved quickly. But I didn't think it would be this quick. For me, it's a huge decision that is going to affect not only the clubs, but the players and the communities around them. These clubs are able to pay their bills, not only just to players, but their general, for example, ground rent. But more specifically, there are some clubs that on the pitch are really going to be absolutely fuming that this has happened. Currently, there are two teams within the non-league pyramid that have confirmed their promotion, but will now not get promoted. Jersey Bulls of the Combined Counties League Division 1 were in their first season as a football club. I've done a video on them in the past, which I will leave linked up in the cards, explaining their whole situation, and this season was massive for them. It's their first season as a football club, and they've got the whole challenge of creating a club on one of the Channel Islands, having to pay for the travel and overnight stay of all of their opponents and themselves to go to their away matches, having to fly to games. It's such an expensive thing, and it's such a massive thing to take on as a football club at 10th tier level. So while they're looking to progress through the leagues and do similar to what Guernsey have done, their fellow Channel Island team, Jersey have done fantastically in their first season. They got 27 wins out of 27, a 100% record. They literally, as a football club, have never tasted anything other than victory. They've confirmed their league title already, but they're not going to be going up. Another team that has done this is Vauxhall Motors. Remember them? They used to be right up at the top levels of non-league, but now they've dropped right down into the North West Counties League Division 1 South. Again, the 10th tier of English football. They were top of their league and 16 points clear of second place. They're at 82 points. Again, like Jersey Bulls, they had confirmed their league title, but it will now not go to anything. To the opposite end of the table, but up a few leagues to the 7th tier, to Redditch United, who were sitting bottom, but they'd actually only got one victory in their last 27 games. In fact, the other 26 they had lost. So they'd literally got 3 points out of their last 27 league games. They did all right at the start of the season, so actually sit on 12 points. They're quite comfortably at the bottom of their league table, but they are now not going to get relegated. So I'm sure that they will be absolutely buzzing with this. However, across the Northern Premier League Premier Division, at the top of that league are South Shields, who sit 12 points clear of second placed FC United of Manchester. They've had an incredible run over the last few years, flying up through the league, spending, I'd imagine, quite a lot of money. And again, this season, probably spending a lot of money to get up to the top of the table, to try and get into the National League North. They're on course to do so, but that has been stopped. They are now considering legal action according to their chairman, and you know that's something that is going to happen. The higher up the pyramid that you go, you're going to have clubs that are going to have the financial power to be able to use legal action against the FA or their league. This is going to be a massive problem, probably the reason why there's going to be slightly different ways of ending the season, I think, in the National League as well as the North and South, and then the Football League and eventually the Premier League. If you cancelled the seasons and declared it null and void in the Premier League, you're going to have clubs that are going to be willing to spend tens of millions on the legal process because of this. For example, Liverpool, they have not won the Premier League since the Premier League was founded in the early 90s. They haven't won the league since it was the first division. So literally they've waited about 30 years to try and win the top division of English football. This season they are dead cert to go and do it. And if it ends up not happening and it's null and void, then they are going to go absolutely mental and get their lawyers on this. Ultimately, the FA and the Premier League do not want this to happen because they are probably going to be ending up with a lot of headaches, in a lot of trouble, and end up paying out a lot of money. If you move into the Football League as well, for example, there are going to be clubs who are run by successful businessmen that have got millions and millions and millions. They will try and do the same. National League North and South, this is probably the in-between stage. You might have some clubs, for example Barrow, who again, a bit like Liverpool but scaled down a bit to non-league. They are pushing to get into the Football League, and that will be an unbelievable achievement for them as a football club. If that's taken away from them, that is absolutely catastrophic for them because they have been top of the league for about 5 months. But by setting this precedent of teams from tier 7 and below not having any promotion and relegation, this does put a lot of pressure, particularly on the National League, to follow suit, especially for the likes of South Shields, who feel really hard done by if they're not able to get promoted, but teams in the league above them are able to get promoted. But then also looking at it the flip side, if teams are able to get promoted from the National League North and South, for example, then they're not able to get relegated in theory, because if there's no promotion or relegation from the 7th tier and below, then surely why would you relegate teams from the National League North and South, especially when they're trying to implement an increased size of the actual size of the leagues. This season was due to be the last season that National League North and South had 22 teams. They meant to go up to 24. As a result of that, they decreased the number of relegation places from North and South from 3 down to 2 just for this season. However, if they were to then still relegate these 2 teams from each of those 2 leagues, you're then down to more teams in the 7th tier, and you have only got 20 teams in each of the 2 National League North and South leagues. This then completely makes it counterintuitive to the whole restructure that they're trying to put into the league system, and just creates an even bigger headache for them. So ultimately, you're not going to end up with relegation from National North and South. That's pretty much guaranteed. I'd be very, very surprised if that was something that happens. Then if you've got no teams getting relegated but still the potential for promotion, that to me just doesn't quite seem fair. But regardless, there's been no real confirmation from the National League at all so far. They haven't reached a decision by the sounds of things, or at least they haven't made it public for people to be aware of. I will keep you guys up to date as soon as we know more from what is going to be happening with the National League, but as of the time of recording this video, there is nothing from the National League so far. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Do you think that making the season null and void from step 3 of the non-league pyramid and below was the right thing to do? Do you think it should have been done on points per game and still done promotion and relegation? Do you think the season could have been continued? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And what do you think is going to happen with the National League North and South as well? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit the like button and click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest news coming from this whole mess of a coronavirus situation in non-league. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.